Welcome to CXO Unplugged. My name's Brad Howarth, and with me today we have Kevin Moore. Kevin is the CEO of Crossmark, which is the largest retail services company in Australia, and I believe also the largest retail services company in the world.
It is indeed, yes.
Maybe best place to start is, what actually is a retail services company?
The best way to think about a retail marketing services company is we look after the last 6 feet of the sale. So if you think of yourself as a shopper walking into a store, any store, whatever you experience there, we've had some input into. So we work with manufacturers and retailers, making sure that when a shopper walks into a store, the product is there, it's properly displayed. If the staff need product knowledge, that we've done product knowledge training, there's point of sale there. Anything that you touch or experience or feel. Sometimes we're demonstrating product. So when you walk in and get your yogurt, we may be doing that. Or you're looking to buy a flat screen TV, we may be the person who's telling you about a flat screen TV. Or we may be training the staff. So anything that you experience in the last 6 feet of the sale, we work with the manufacturer and the retailer to make that the best it can be.
Okay. I'd like to think that normally when I walk into a store, if I'm going to buy milk, I've already decided I'm going to buy milk, and I pretty much know which brand of milk I'm going to buy. Maybe that's not a great example, but how do you actually sort of influence that customer decision then? And is it about influencing decision or making a better experience?
It's about a better experience. There's a general rule in shopper marketing that if it costs over $50 or it goes on the body or in the body, so if it's food, cosmetics, pharmacy, or it costs over $50, as shoppers we naturally ask for advice. We talk to the expert on the shop floor. That's what we do. We make sure that if people walk in with between 1 and 3 brands in their mind, they walk out with a brand that matches their needs. And that's a great product in the right environment.
Okay, maybe take us through an example then of how you work with customers.
Let me give you an example that's not so much about how we work with customers, but an example of this whole thing about shopper marketing. There have been, historically, manufacturers have used this phrase that I'm the manufacturer's consumer, and retailers have said I'm the retailer's customer. Well, that's been turned on its head. We're actually the shopper, and what we're looking for is the right product in the right retail environment, a great shopper experience. The best example of that is this thing. And when the iPod first came out, it was actually retailed in the wrong environment. And the nice thing about it was, because Apple had their own stores, they could understand that 35 to 40-year-old males who they're aiming it for to begin with weren't buying it. They were, but not enough numbers. They realized that 14 to 18-year-old males and females were buying it for music. And once they understood that, they could push that knowledge out into other retailers and get a great product retailed in the right environment. It's a great shopper experience. So while that was going on, it was killing this. And this piece of plastic died. So at that time, as the iPod came out, everybody said the CD business is dead. But at just that time, a company called JB Hi-Fi in Australia were creating a fantastic shopper experience. And this was the backbone of what they did. They took a very poor product in the minds of consumers and shoppers, and they put it into a great environment. So nirvana, in terms of shopper experience, is the right product in the right environment.
Right. So what do you think JB did well then? Because one might say, I know a lot of the reason I buy from JB is they're cheap. What have they done in terms of the environment that you think it would be a lesson for other retailers?
They create theatre. The reason you go back there is because it's great fun. Shopping competes with going to the movies. Shopping competes with going to a footy game. Shopping done well is a pastime. It's a pleasure. We can see it around the world where shopping malls are getting far more engaging, far more fun. The Coles relays, the investment that Coles and Woolworths have made in their fresh food, and Australia's probably got the best fresh food offering in the world. It's a pleasure to walk into a store where there's a fish section which has ice, and that whole theatre is happening more and more and more. We're seeing it around the world.
How do Australians compare then in terms of the world shoppers? Do we have any particular nuances or traits which are different?
Key one is fresh food. There isn't another market in the world that does fresh food better than Australia. That's a big claim to make. But the history of it is both Woolworths and Coles over many years said this is going to be something that we do well. The Australian shopper wanted that, and they've done it phenomenally well.
So in terms of retailing then, I mean, what are the most common mistakes that retailers make?
I don't know if mistake's the right word. Let me give you an example of what's happening around the world. This whole thing about retailers and manufacturers has been a very adversarial process. What happens is manufacturers have been going into buying offices and they've been price negotiations. This butting of heads has been going on. The best of the retailers, the best of the manufacturers around the world are now getting rid of that and saying, okay, what does the shopper want? What do we need to do to bring the whole shopping experience alive? You can see it in Morrison's in the UK, you can see it in Woolworths and Coles in Australia, you can see it in JB Hi-Fi, you can see it in Walmart across the whole of North America. In fact, every one of the brands they own. When Costco opens in Melbourne, go and visit a Costco. It's a different shopper experience, it's a great experience, but the fundamental thing is it's about theatre. If a shopper walks in with a sad face and walks out with a happy face, you're getting it right. If they walk in with a happy face, stop, look confused and leave, you got it wrong. It's all about the experience.
Okay, so I guess to rephrase then, what contributes to an unhappy face walking out?
Confusion. There's a great company called EnviroCell out of New York, and a guy called Paco Underhill, who is the guru of shopping around the world. Paco is retained by Westfields, he's retained by Haku Hadu. He's probably the best guy, 25 years of watching you and I shopping with cameras. And what he's been able to do is to say, if you track a shopper going into a store, if they walk in and stop and look around and do a few confused circles, they're almost certainly going to leave that store. Because what they've found is the wrong product in the wrong environment. They're confused. It just doesn't fit. They expected to find something here and it wasn't there. The best of the shoppers come in, they go through the decompression zone, the first 8-10 feet of the sale, and they go, they look around, and then they get comfortable, and then they're away. And what they do is they shop longer, they spend more, and importantly, they come back. So all these things are measurable.
Okay. So tell me about, I don't know, can you tell me about some of the work you've done with clients? Are there particular campaigns or activities you've done that you're especially proud of?
That we're especially proud of, that's interesting. There was a great story told by a major retailer who I won't name. They didn't realise that after several years of working that every day 12 of our people were in their store at some point supporting their staff or demonstrating product or managing point of sale or managing product. So we tend to be the theatre behind the stage show. We've got 2,700 people across Australia and New Zealand. We've got 28,000 people across North America, but you wouldn't know many of them are Crossmark. We tend to be branded by our clients. So you'll see guys wearing Sony t-shirts or wearing Paramount t-shirts or wearing ACP magazine t-shirts. So we tend to be the people behind all of those brands. Okay.
Clearly we've just gone through a fairly tough economic time, actually probably really still in it. How do you think the Australian retailing sector's held up through that?
Well, phenomenally well. Phenomenally well. If you look what's happened around the world, the major retailers around the world, and Australia's no different, went into the GFC with a very clear idea of what they were going to do. The retail recession actually happened in 2007, 2008. High petrol prices, high interest rates. There was a lot of money being sucked out of shoppers' pockets. And that's where every one of the major retailers sat down and said, if it's going to get tougher, we need to prepare for it now. Every retailer in the Western world that had clear plans going to the GFC did phenomenally well, and they've all done well. Walmart, Coles, Woolworths, JB Hi-Fi, they've all done phenomenally well.
So in terms of the work that you've done, I mean, have there been specific things that you've done to help clients come through this?
It's not so much to help clients come through this. The GFC, the impact on our industry with the GFC has been more around the fact that major decisions that have been put on the back burner have started to be made. Clearest example of that is the Nielsen company in North America. Their back office is data acquisition. Their front office are very bright men and women analysing that data and selling it on. Across North America, it's such a significant part of their cost base that we work together with Crossmark to be able to develop code and solutions in terms of IT to be able to do that data collection work for them. So the GFC hasn't had an impact on people panicking. It hasn't had people saying, please, can you, we outsource more people to you. What it said is the major players have said, this has been a significant, the organisation of labour has been a significant part of a concern for some time, and now it's just bubbled to the fore.
How do you see the trends evolving then? And we've got Generation X, Y, baby boomers and so forth. Do you see patterns emerging, new styles of retailing coming out of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess the greatest thing about retailing is it is phenomenally innovative. If anybody's been to a Smiggle store, you'll get the whole idea. It's a small footprint. It is almost addictive. The product is not expensive, but I keep on coming back there.
In that case, I mean, that's a paper product still, really, isn't it? It's not really something new.
Not sexy. It's not sexy, it's just paper. But it isn't, because it's engaging and people enjoy going there. Shopper experiences, irrespective of age, are about having a good time. It's about enjoying ourselves. You know, we go to shopping malls and stores. Some of it's necessity, but the vast majority is because we choose to be there. So good shopping experiences, irrespective of age or background or anything else. A good shopping experience is a good shopping experience. So
rampant consumerism is a throwback to just wanting to have fun, maybe.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
So in terms of this company, then, you have 2,700 people here in Australia. You talked before about they're in stores, they're out there, you know, displaying products, whatever. But tell me, what makes this organisation tick? What are the real skills inside here?
We don't have factories, we don't have products. So we define ourselves as having two composite parts. Great quality and thought of our people, linked with very good technology. And if you link those things together, what we do fundamentally is organise labour. We get lots of people to do lots of tasks really well. The greatest example, and apologies for reaching into the US, I'll reach internationally. I had a meeting with John Aiden, who's the Chief Operating Officer of Walmart. So John runs in Bentonville, Arkansas about 3 months ago. John runs all of the international Walmart brands, so not North America. So John has 720,000 men and women working in his stores. That means that somewhere between 3 and 5 million men and women pass through his stores managing stock. They're putting up displays, they're checking pricing, they're bringing stock to the fore. John said, the single most important thing that you can do for us, Crossmark, is you can help us organize our labor. The efficiencies to be gained from making sure that our stores flow well and our manufacturers' products are represented well are significant. They are phenomenal. 3 to 5 million people. That's what we're seeing more and more. Now, to do that, you need great people who are well trained, and you need great technology to bring those things together. And that's what we do. But we do it against a background of people having fun. And that's a much overused phrase. If you walk through this building, you'll see bright colors, and you'll see the zone, which is where people play table tennis, and there's a bar in the zone, there's Foxtel playing all the time. We're a service business.
You've got 2,700 people.
Exactly, they keep coming back. But the most important thing about what we do, we're a service business. And people are either cut out for service innately or they're not. If we can get people who are cut out innately for service into a great environment, they have fun. In our environment, people do business with people they like. So if we've got happy, winning, confident people, when they engage with our clients say, I like these people. And if I engage with a new service provider, I've probably got to see these people once a month as a minimum, probably once every week. So I better like the people I'm doing business with. So one of the key parts about our business is about that having fun, is about the energy, is about people being the best they can be, irrespective of background and anything else.
Right. Kevin, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you.